Hello and welcome to this video that will show you how to set up an assignment where you can grade it using a rubric, because that again is something that will save you some time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click and turn our editing on, and let's say we're going to have the assignment be here in this week. Actually, let's do it the week after this. So we're going to add an activity or a resource, and we're going to add an assignment because yeah. Okay, and we'll call this assignment name SA1. Okay, and then we would give, let's say, in at least 300 words, please share your experiences with writing. Do you enjoy writing? Why or why not? Or something like that. Okay. And then you'd want to definitely click on the description right here so they can see what the actual assignment is. Okay. And then you can set the date as far as when it is going to be due. And again, you can select when they can submit it, or you can just disable that, whatever the due date, the cutoff date. So what's different between this and a quiz is that you can actually have the due date, and also you can have a date of when it actually cuts it off and says that I will not accept it any more than just that. Okay. Under submission types, you can have it so they can type in the answer just directly in Moodle using the online text, or they can upload a file submission. Okay. One little kind of like advanced tool that I use. So I require that my students send me stuff in either doc or docx files because I know that that works for Moodle. So what I do is when the types of accepted types of files, sometimes they try to send me pages or something that I can't open, and I can't grade it if I can't open it. So I want to have document files, but I want to have these particular files right here, either a docx or a doc. Okay. And that means if they try to submit something that's neither one of these, it won't accept it. So it either forces them to write it actually in the assignment itself or upload it as a doc or docx, because again, it's very frustrating when they've submitted something. Again, the most common problem is so if someone's using a Mac and they upload it using that their default program, which saves it as a pages document, Moodle can't read that, so that's not a thing. Under feedback types, if you want to be able to give feedbacks or send them a file, you can change that, or if you want to do comments in line, you can certainly do that. Okay. And then the submission settings, I wouldn't mess with that. If you're going to do group works, well, let's not worry about those things. But again, the grade, this is kind of where we're going to be getting to. We're going to eventually do a rubric. Okay, because that's what I want to show you really in this video. And then again, under the grade category, had I set up my gradebook for this course, which I haven't yet, then that's where I'd assign this into whatever appropriate category it should be. But the tricky part here is the rubric, and that's what I'm going to kind of show you, because this is something that can save you a lot of time, again, with grading. A lot of the concepts I'm trying to teach in these videos are, if you invest the time up front, it'll make the actual semester a lot easier for you and allow you to roll with the changes a lot easier. So now you're like, okay, well, that says a rubric, but what rubric is it? Just hang on, it's going to be okay. All right, so now we've saved it. All right, okay, we're like, oh, it says, oh, cutoff date cannot be earlier than the due date, because I was just messing around with that. Anyway, let's get back. Okay, so now we have the essay, okay, but we didn't really set up the rubric. Okay, I'm going to see if I can remember how to do this. I believe I click on essay, and then I click on the gear, and then I can go to define the rubric. Woo! There it is. Okay, and the rubric is going to be SA1. This is the SA1 rubric. Okay. And now it gives me the options to go ahead and put in the rubric. And I can do this all sorts of different ways. So this is like just a 300 point 300 word essay. So the first thing I'm going to do is word count, because I really want them to write a certain amount of words. And you can select, which way you want to do it. So let's say, and you can add a level. Let's add a level or two. Let's add another level. Let's add like 5 levels. Okay. So let's say, we go 300 or more words. Let's say this is 200 to 299 words. You're like, well, how do you know how many words it is? Well, if they send it as a Word document, then it actually tells you. And then this would be like 100 to 199 words. And this would be like 1 to 99 words. And you're like, not submitted. Okay, but we can also choose how many points each one of these categories is going to be. So let's say I'm going to have 2 categories. So actually I would want to change this to, let's say 50 points, and then change that to like, I don't know, 40 points, 30 points, 20 points, whatever, however you want to do it. Okay. Oh, oops. Gotta make sure it does it right. Okay. Fantastic. All right. But now I want to add another level. So add a criterion. Boom. So now, and let's do spelling. Actually, let's call it grammar. Okay. Little beef here that I'm going to throw out here. Often I hear from faculty members, well, they're not learning how to write in English because when they turn in their papers to, whatever course they're teaching, they never write using proper English. I'm like, okay, well, are you using grammar as one of your criteria on your rubric? Well, no. Well, then they don't have any reason to, write properly. So if there's no consequence for them using proper grammar, then there you go. It's like, so I'd say, basically, no significant issues with grammar, and you can be a little vague here. A few distracting issues, several distracting, and you can be as specific as you want. Distracting issues, distracting issues. I didn't like how I spelled distracting. Well, what are you going to do? Many distracting issues. Okay. Because the idea, at least for an English professor, is proper grammar is important because we're trying to get our message across. And if we have poor grammar, it's interfering with the message that's being trying to portrayed, and so these can cause distracting issues which can pull the reader out of what's being said. Anyway, so that's how I've created a rubric, and I can create as many different things as I want, and I can even edit them as far as all sorts of different things. But let's go ahead and save the rubric and make it ready. Okay, and then we go, yeah, that's fine. I think that's good. Okay, so but now what's kind of cool is for the students, so let me go over to student view. Student view. So when they click on essay, it actually shows them the rubric. So it tells them specifically what they're going to be graded upon, because it's terrible when you're like, well, I hope this is right, and it's like, so I would recommend that you do this. So then when it comes time to actually do the grading, you can just read through their stuff and you just click on the boxes. Actually, I don't know if it'll let me do one as an example or not. Let's try, shall we? Yeah, I don't know if it's going to let me. Let's try to switch back to a student. student. Ooh, let's add a submission. Okay. And again, I can do the online text or I can upload a file, but again, it's going to only allow me to upload these types of files. So, my experience with writing, do I enjoy writing? Say, no, I don't. Okay, so let's say that's all they did. And then they hit the save changes. And, okay, and then it's been submitted for grading. Like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Now, when it comes to me as an instructor, when I go back to, comes to grade this, I'll just click on grade, and it will pull up the first assignment. Well, that's not going to let me do it because I'm using myself. But the idea, and I'm sorry, this is, it would actually show you their response, and over here it'll have the rubric. So you could just say, oh well, they did 1 to 3, they didn't make any spelling issues, but whatever. Okay, but the rubric would be right here, and then you would just click on whatever they've earned and hit save changes. It'll automatically grade it and put that grade into your gradebook. It makes it nice and easy, and so it's very clear on why they earned the grade that they did, and it automatically grades it and puts it into your book. All right, so that's a very helpful little tool on doing assignments with a rubric.